Hello everyone and welcome to this writing lesson. We're going to be talking about paragraphs. A paragraph is a group of related statements that a writer develops about a subject. The first sentence states the specific point or idea of the topic. The rest of the sentences in the paragraph support that point. A paragraph has three parts: a topic sentence, several supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence. The topic sentence tells what topic the paragraph is going to discuss. The supporting sentences give details about the topic. The concluding sentence summarizes the main points or restates the topic sentence in different words. A paragraph is like a sandwich. The topic sentence and concluding sentences are the two pieces of bread enclosing the meat, which is the supporting sentences. A diagram of a paragraph looks like this. You have the topic sentence on top, the supporting sentence in the middle, and the concluding sentence at the bottom. Now, the model paragraph that you see right now describes a typical wedding in Hawaii. The people who live in the island state of Hawaii are from many different ethnic groups. In Hawaii, Hawaiians, Japanese, Chinese, Filipinos, Portuguese, and Haoles share their customs freely with one another. Now, as you read the model, find the three parts of the paragraph. Find the topic sentence, the supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence. Now, please pause the video, read the paragraph, and answer the three questions after the paragraph. Now that you have answered the three questions, let's study each of the three parts of paragraph in more detail. Let's talk about the topic sentence first. The topic sentence is the most important sentence in a paragraph. It has two parts: a topic and a controlling idea. The topic names the subject of the paragraph. In our model, the topic is Hawaiian weddings. The controlling idea tells what the paragraph will say about the topic. It is called the controlling idea because it controls or limits the topic to a very specific point or points. In our model, the controlling idea is that weddings in Hawaii are special because of the mix of cultures. Here are examples of topic sentences with the same topic, but different controlling ideas. So instead of the topic sentence you read in the paragraph, you could have these topic sentences as well. Some marriages, which is the topic, are a union of two families. So your controlling idea could be a union of two families, or the same topic. Some marriages are a union of two individuals. Now, the same topic, a different controlling idea. Some weddings are very elaborate. Another controlling idea, some weddings are very simple. And another controlling idea, some weddings take place in unusual locations. Again, these are other controlling ideas for the same topic that you could write. Now, imagine that you are given the topic friends to write a paragraph about. Friends is too large a topic for a paragraph, so you need to narrow it to a smaller topic. One way to do this is to use the listing technique. Now, you should make a list of every word or phrase that comes into your mind about the word friends. In other words, let's do a brainstorming. This is called brainstorming about the topic friends. Whatever that comes into your mind, you should quickly write them down. You could, for example, write down for friends, kinds of friends, new friends, old friends, best friends, childhood friends, friends from school, casual friends, or the idea may come into your mind to write how to make friends, or even what is a friend. So you write down everything you can think of in your brainstorming. Then you choose one of the smaller topics, one of the items from your list, You choose one of the smaller topics. You might choose, what is a friend? Now that you have chosen what is a friend, which is more narrow, you should make a second list while thinking about this smaller topic. So think of what is a friend and write down all the ideas that would come into your mind. So what is a friend? A friend is someone to have fun with, to hang out with, play sports with, share secrets. You can trust a friend. You can share your problems with a friend. A friend is loyal. You can depend on a friend. You can ask for advice from a friend. You can help each other. You can enjoy the same activities, and you can like the same movies or sports. Now, any of these ideas can be the controlling idea in your topic sentence. So you can say, a friend is a person you have fun with. Or a topic sentence could be, a friend is someone you can trust. Another topic sentence could be, a friend is a person who enjoys the same activities. So we talked about the topic sentence. Now let's talk about supporting sentences. Now, you know that supporting sentences explain the topic by giving more information about it. Supporting point sentences list the main points of the paragraph. Now look at this supporting point sentence. Certainly, Hawaiian clothing, music, and other Hawaiian customs play a big role. The supporting points here are the Hawaiian clothing, music, and other Hawaiian customs. Now, let's look at some examples. First of all, examples illustrate the supporting point sentences. Again, examples illustrate the supporting point sentences. Examples are good support because they are specific and they make your meaning very clear. Notice the signal phrases that can introduce examples. Look at the chart. At the beginning of a sentence, use for example or for instance, followed by a comma. Don't forget that comma. In front of an example that is just a word or phrase, not an entire sentence, use the prepositional phrase such as without a comma. Look at the chart. For example, for instance, comma, blah, 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 and then such as without a comma. So now take a minute, pause this video quickly, look at the chart and look at the examples, then play the video. All right, so we talked about supporting sentences. Now we're going to talk about a concluding sentence. A concluding sentence signals the end of the paragraph and reminds the reader of the main idea. Here are 3 tips to help you write a good concluding sentence. 1. Begin with a conclusion signal. Most conclusion signals have commas after them. Others do not. Now look at this chart. pause the video, take a minute, look at the chart, read the examples, and play the video again. Point number 2, remind your reader of the main idea by one of the following methods. Repeat the idea in the topic sentence in different words. Do not just copy the topic sentence. So if your topic sentence is, for example, successful bidding on eBay requires patience and strategy, your concluding sentence, which is reworded, could look like something like this. In conclusion, wait patiently and place your bid with precision timing, and you will be the winning bidder every time. Here's another method you can apply. Summarize the main point or points of the paragraph. So for the concluding sentence, you can say, in conclusion, follow the steps I have outlined, and you'll be the winning bidder every time. And the final point, point number 3, never end a paragraph by introducing a new idea. So don't say, in conclusion, you can spend a lot of money on eBay. Here, spending a lot of money on eBay is a whole new idea and different from the idea in the topic sentence, which was eBay requiring patience and strategy. All right, now a quick look at capitalization rules. Now, these are the most important rules for capitalization in English. You should capitalize the following. Take a look at the chart. On the left, you have the rules. On the right, you have the examples. Now, what should you capitalize? The first word in a sentence should be capitalized. For example, my best friend is my dog. Also, the pronoun I should be capitalized. So every time you write I, make sure you capitalize it. So here, he, because it's the beginning of the sentence, is capitalized, and I, because it's I, is capitalized. So it's he and I never argue. Number 3, abbreviations and acronyms formed from the first letters of words, like USA, IBM, 8, UN, VW, or CBS. Point number 4, all proper nouns should be capitalized. Now, proper nouns include names of deities, names of people, and their titles, but not a title without a name. Names of specific groups of people, races and ethnic groups, languages and religions, names of specific places on a map, names of specific geographic areas, but not the names of compass directions, by the way. Names of days, months, and special days, names of specific structures such as buildings, bridges, dams, and monuments, and names of specific organizations like government agencies, businesses, schools, clubs, and teams. These all should be capitalized. Take a look at the examples of all the nouns and pronouns that I just mentioned, and pause the video for a couple of minutes, read the examples, and play the video again. Okay, now we're going to talk about conjunctions. The model for this section is a folktale. A folktale is a traditional story that has been passed down orally from one generation to the next until someone finally writes it down. Every culture is rich in folktales. This one is from Japan. Let's read it together. Once upon a time, an old couple lived in the countryside. They were happy, but they were poor. One day, the old man went to work in the forest and took his usual lunch of 3 rice balls. During lunch, he dropped the rice ball and it rolled into a hole in the ground. He heard happy singing coming from the hole, so he dropped the other 2 rice balls into it. Inside the hole, some mice were having a party. They thanked him for the rice balls and invited him to join them. After a while, the mice told him to choose a box as a reward for his generosity. He could choose a big box or he could choose a small one. He thought about taking a big box, but he finally chose a small one. Back at home, he and his wife discovered that the box was full of gold coins. A greedy neighbor heard about the good fortune and quickly made plans to visit the same hole. At the hole, he pushed several rice balls into it, and sure enough, the mice invited him in. The greedy man wanted all of the mice's gold, so he pretended to be a cat. He started meowing loudly, and the frightened mice ran away. The gold disappeared with the mice, so the greedy man got nothing, not even a rice ball. Now, before, you learned about simple sentences. A simple sentence has one subject-verb combination. Another kind of sentence is a compound sentence. A compound sentence has 2 or more subject-verb combinations. So a compound sentence is 2 simple sentences together. A compound sentence is composed of at least 2 simple sentences joined by a comma and a coordinating conjunction. A compound sentence has this formula. The gold disappeared with the mice, so the greedy man got nothing. You have a subject and a verb on the left side, which makes a complete sentence. You have a subject and a verb on the right side. The greedy man got nothing. So you have 2 complete sentences joined together with a so and a comma before it. So here is the coordinating conjunction. Now look at this chart of coordinating conjunctions. Look at the coordinating conjunctions first. And joins sentences that are alike. For example, he dropped the rice ball and it's rolled into the hole in the ground. These 2 sentences are alike. But joins sentences that are opposite or show contrast. For example, they were happy, but they were poor. So joins sentences when the second sentence expresses the result of something described in the first sentence. For example, the greedy man wanted all of the mice's gold, so he pretended to be a cat. Now look at the last coordinating conjunction. Or joins sentences that give choices or alternatives. For example, he could choose a big box or he could choose a small one. Now remember, use a comma before a coordinating conjunction in compound sentences only. Do not use a comma to join 2 words or 2 phrases in one simple sentence. Let's look at this example. Yesterday we went shopping, comma, but we didn't buy anything. So 2 simple sentences joined by a coordinating conjunction, which is but, and there's a comma before it. Look at the other example. The stores were crowded and they were noisy. Again, the same story. The next example, we ate lunch and then we went home. Again, 2 complete sentences joined together with a coordinating conjunction and a comma. Now, look at these examples where commas are not needed. Yesterday we went shopping but didn't buy anything. Now, you don't need a comma here because the second sentence doesn't have a subject. So it's not a complete sentence. Look at the other example. The stores were crowded and noisy. This is all still in the same sentence. Look at this other example. We ate lunch and then went home. So again, in the second sentence, you have no subject, so it's not a complete sentence, so you don't need a comma before that. Now let's look at punctuation. First, let's look at some comma rules. Look at this chart. On the left, you have 3 comma rules, and on the right, you have the examples. Let's read the chart together. As rule number 1, we should put a comma after a time order signal that comes before the subject at the beginning of a sentence. Then, soon, and now are usually not followed by a comma. Look at the example. Yesterday, now notice yesterday is a time order signal, and it is at the beginning of the sentence, so you need a comma. Yesterday, comma, I did homework for 3 hours. Or finally, comma, I was too tired to think. Or at 8 o'clock, comma, I fell asleep on the sofa. But soon I started snoring, no comma. Remember, for then, soon, and now, you usually do not use a comma. Rule number 2, put a comma after the first sentence in a compound sentence. Put the comma before the coordinating conjunction. Don't use a comma between 2 parts of one simple sentence. For example, I was too tired to think, so comma, so I decided to take a break and watch TV for a while. But I woke up and finished my homework. Now notice there is no comma here because the second sentence does not have a subject. Rule number 3, put a comma between the items in a series of 3 or more items. Now the items may be words, phrases, or clauses. Remember, do not use a comma between only 2 items. Let's look at the examples. I got up, took a shower, drank a cup of coffee, grabbed my books, and ran out the door. You have more than 3 items here, so you can put commas in between. Another example, red, white, and blue. Again, red, white, and blue are the 3 colors of the US flag. But red and gold, which there are 2, red and gold are the school colors. So when you have 2 items, again, you do not need commas. Now we're going to talk about descriptive paragraphs. Descriptive writing appeals to the senses. So it tells how something looks, feels, smells, tastes, and or sounds. A good description is a word picture. The reader can imagine the object, place, or person in his or her mind. A description usually follows a pattern of organization that we call spatial order. Spatial order is the arrangement of things in space. As you read the model paragraph, notice how the description moves from the bottom of the stairway to the top. Also notice how the description of the woman moves from far away to near. Now, please pause this video and read this paragraph, then answer the 3 questions. Now, let's talk about spatial order a little bit more. Now, just as an artist plans where to place each object in a painting, a writer plans where to put each object in a word picture. In a description, writers often use spatial order to organize their ideas. Spatial order is the arrangement of items in order by space. For example, when describing your favorite room at home, you could first describe things on the left side of the doorway and then move clockwise around to the right side. You could also start on the right and move counterclockwise around to the left. Now, the model paragraph, which is called the stairway, uses spatial organization. In describing the stairway, the writer shows that as a little boy, his first view was from the bottom looking up at the mannequin. Then he climbs up the stairway. The spatial organization is from bottom to top. When he describes the mannequin, he first gives an overall impression, the way she was leaning against the wall, and what her dress looked like. Then he focuses on her face, and finally on her unblinking eyes. The spatial organization is from far to near. It does not usually matter whether the spatial organization is left to right, right to left, near to far, far to near, or outside to inside, inside to outside, top to bottom, bottom to top, or anything like that. It is only helpful to use some kind of spatial order when you write a description. Now, what are spatial order signals? What are the words you can use? Just as there are words and phrases to show time order, there are words and phrases to show spatial organization. They are often prepositional phrases of location or position. Now take a look at these spatial order signals. Pause and try to use them in your head. Look at the ones on the left, at the top of, in the center, on the left, in front of, in the front of, inside, next to, between, behind, in back of, in the back of, and across. Now, as you know, supporting sentences are the meat of a paragraph. They not only provide the details that prove the truth of your topic sentence, but they also make your writing rich and interesting. In a descriptive paragraph, the more details you include, the more clearly your reader will imagine what you are describing. Your details should appeal to the five senses. They should tell your reader how something looks, smells, sounds, feels, and tastes. Write about colors, sizes, shapes, odors, noises, and textures. Now please pause the video, read the paragraph, underline the descriptive details, and then answer the 4 questions after the paragraph. Then continue the video. An important element of a good paragraph is unity. When a paragraph has unity, all the supporting sentences discuss only one idea. From beginning to end, each sentence is directly related to the topic. In some languages, it is acceptable to wander away from the topic to make little side trips to ideas that are somewhat but not directly related to the main topic. But in English, Doing so is not acceptable. It breaks the unity of the paragraph. So don't allow any of your sentences to wander around talking about other ideas. Now, a prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and a pronoun, noun, or noun phrase. The following prepositional phrases express time, as you can see, place, and possession, among other things. Take a look at these examples. Now, some, but not all prepositional phrases can come at the beginning, as well as in the middle, and at the end of a sentence. At the beginning of sentences, rather, they often function as time order and spatial order signals. Moving prepositional phrases to the beginning of some sentences also adds interest and variety to your writing. When you use the time order or spatial order in a paragraph, move some prepositional phrases to the beginning of their sentences and put a comma after them. So instead of saying, "I was afraid of many things during my childhood," you can move the prepositional phrase to the beginning and say, "During my childhood, comma, I was afraid of many things." Here's another example. You arrive at Avasupai village at the end of the trail, and instead of this, you can say, "At the end of the trail." Again, you brought the prepositional phrase to the beginning of the sentence. So, "At the end of the trail, comma, you arrive at Havasupai village." But remember, not all prepositional phrases can be moved. So here in the sentence, "The color of the house was white," cannot be changed to "of the house the color was white." Also, "He married a girl with red hair." Here you cannot move the prepositional phrase and say, "With red hair he married a girl." Now, please do the exercises your teacher has assigned you, and be prepared to check your answers in class. You can do the exercises alone or with a friend.